nostalgia, horror, and animation. Three elements that, when combined, create a spooky spectacle. Set in the 90s, Tim and Ed follows serialized misadventures centered around two preteens residing in a town that's all too familiar with the paranormal. Along the way, the boys will discover long-held secrets, revealing a hidden world of the occult known to most as myth and folklore. Before I fully dive into Tim and Ed and my journey of creating it, here's a little history. Often seen as the bottom tier of cinema, horror as a genre in film has existed nearly since its inception. The Universal monsters, for instance, captivated audiences a century ago. Tim and Ed takes influences from decades of horror, using the charm of animation to encapsulate the campiness and style of the past through a modern lens. Science fiction. My love for horror is a not-so-guilty pleasure, but at my core, there also includes a hefty space for sci-fi influences. You haven't truly experienced campy until you've seen movies from the 50s and 60s. These preceding decades all culminate into the penultimate influence and setting of the show, the 90s. The decade of which I was raised and indoctrinated into my love of animation. My journey from the inception of the original idea to its current status of being in production began in 2011 during my early years of college. What began as an idea for a short story would evolve into the concept of a full-fledged, serialized animated adventure. I was mainly used to drawing realism and detailed illustrations. So, in the process, I would have to hone finding my own style in cartoon character design, spending many years in the concept phase. But what's an animation style without learning animation? My goals were to just create a proof of concept, a pilot. So, instead of years of learning traditional animation, I discovered Adobe After Effects. I learned character rigs and in the process began to learn motion design, a skill that would eventually become my day job for an ad agency. My first attempts at character animation were very humble beginning. I knew this route couldn't replace traditional animation, but it was more attainable. With time, I started to truly see my vision come to life.
The ship creaks with every step.
I haven't even gotten to the good part yet.
Using Photoshop and Premiere Pro, I came up with a system of creating characters, mouth animations, and background illustrations. Bringing these all together into After Effects to animate the rigs and composite the scenes together. But animation was only one aspect. While learning animation and creating the show's look, I also had to work on creating a story, plotting the foundations and future of Tim and Ed, world building. Honestly, something that's still a work in progress, but there is a script for episode 1, titled The Witch Dog. In episode 1, the boys are dared by Ed's older brother to explore the rundown and abandoned Victorian home at the end of the cul-de-sac. A home also rumored to house a witch whom decades prior was transformed into a monstrous entity known as the Witch Dog, still residing inside, trapped by her own enchantment. So, Why do I idolize the 90s? Beyond pure nostalgia glasses, it takes me back to a time when animation wasn't afraid to somewhat push the boundaries in its content. Animation that didn't insult the intelligence of its child audience. Not afraid to weave sophisticated storylines and add a bit of maturity to its plots. There's only been a handful of such shows in recent years. And films plagued by underappreciation, destined to be marveled only through cult status. My goal is for Tim and Ed to have legitimately scary elements, but appropriate enough to be viewed by a wide audience. Family-friendly horror, captivating a new generation while bringing familiarity to their parents. I know I'm not a trailblazer, and nowhere near alone on this front. There's unique creators everywhere, making a voice in independent animation. Some choosing to keep their focus on catering to adult audiences and letting the world know it was never meant specifically for children. Guillermo del Toro said it best.
Because animation is cinema. Animation is not a genre for kids, it's a medium. Thank you very much. See you later.
Creating a cartoon has been a dream of mine since I was a child. I've spent years learning a means of bringing that vision to life, even if it's not to the best technical standard. Tim and Ed is my longest running side project. Even if it doesn't get successfully picked up or receives many views at all, finishing this episode will still be one of the greatest personal achievements I've ever done.
Hi, my name is Jeff Hagood, and I'm the creator of Tim and Ed. I'm 22 years old. I reside in Arkansas. I am a local freelance video director, graphic designer, and now I'm trying to add animation to that set of skills. Thank you for watching this video.
It's time for me to get back to work.